No.
They also love the Australian accent.
They're like, who's this idiot? Why is he here?
So then, like, we get to try to do the Australian accent, the good day, Mike, and all that stuff. Did they do that in Australia? Like, make fun of the American? Or not make fun, but like try to do the American accent?
Well, I think the thing for us is that we were exposed to so much, television and stuff like that. The American, culture and accent and that is so, common down there. The thing that always amazes me coming up here is when people ask me how long it took us to drive here. I don't even know how to respond to that anymore.
I bet there's a bunch of Australians sitting around the coffee shop saying, damn, them boys over there in America, let's go down to the gas station and get us a 40 ouncer and a trailer house. Do you guys say that about us? Because we try to talk like you, and it's just impossible.
It's impossible.
I don't think there's no way I could pull that off, Kelly.
Well, just say trailer house.
Trailer house. That's as good as it gets.
As good as it needs to be.
He needs to hang out with some folks from Louisiana for a little bit. That is awesome. All right, so how did y'all meet online? I mean, like, what? I mean, like, let's hear, like, Montana. Well, obviously, you living here. You was in Kentucky at the time. Like, where would y'all meet?
I always like to make him answer this, and then I correct him.
Okay.
So.
Perfect. I get that. My wife does the same thing.
So Elizabeth was teaching at the University of Kentucky and in the Color Genetics and also running the internships there, and I kept getting these interns that had come out, and eventually at some point the teacher had to come out and check, make sure they were learning something, so she turned up.
There you go.
That's such a male version of the story, as all women know.
All right, so let's hear. So let's just say this first. She has a master's in equine genetics. I don't even really know what that means. Neither do you. Perfect. All right, so you tell the story now.
Well, the best part of the story is we actually had a mutual friend who tried to set us up on a date, and they hosted a big barbecue and invited both of us when Dan happened to be in Kentucky, and Dan was about an hour late. And I was not impressed with this, so I waited long enough for him to show up, and I shook his hand and I left. And so our first meeting did not take off the way everyone was expecting.
But, Dan, don't let her... She was a little interested or she wouldn't have waited at all.
No, I have a Brazilian best friend. You don't tell them no.
Okay.
They're strong. But then I had a bunch of students that kept wanting to intern with this Australian. And they kept telling me, oh, it's amazing what he can do with horses. And of course, I've been in the horse industry for a while, so I've seen a lot of Australian trainers come through, and I'm like, oh, there's a new one now. They can do new things. That's great. And by about the third one, we can't keep sending him there because we have to actually make sure it's legitimate. And so I remember I went out to visit her site, and Dan was riding at the time a Mustang that he was making over, and he was in the arena, and he was riding in bareback and bridleless for the makeover, and I kind of sometimes don't think before I talk, even though I should. And he rode up, and I was like, oh my gosh, you can ride. And that was our first moment together.
What a better compliment. That's how you can ride.
Yeah.
So, children, one bun in the oven, that's just good. Tell us about this. Congratulations, all right. Yeah, I told you y'all gonna learn stuff. He probably didn't say that in his clinic. So
Speaking of that, John learned the hard way to not ask that question.
Yeah, so this is a true story.
Should we not, probably?
Okay, never mind.
I want to hear it.
Well, I have a microphone. We was talking about this yesterday on the show that sometimes you say stuff without thinking. And I congratulated a lady on...
Yep.
That's so bad.
It was my wife. It was one of them that came out of the arena, and you want to talk about the tongue lashing. Whoops. And I did. I sincerely apologize. It was truly an accident.
It's so bad.
It is so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, moving on. So, speaking of bad, all right, you got a 2-year-old?
Yeah, we've got a little girl, Isabella, that's just turned 2, and then we've got baby James, who's going to be a boy, due July 2nd. So pretty excited about that.
So tell us about the daughter. She's 2 years old. She's got to be into everything.
She looks just like Dan. Which I didn't know Dan would be cute as a girl, and he is actually.
He's got a few girl qualities.
I mean, I wasn't sure. You don't know. Like, good looking
Got
men
a
aren't
fancy
always good as
dresser,
women.
always probably Who spends? Well, this is going to be another question for later.
So yeah, so we get sources. We have people that help us before we have. So what? This is your question, not his. How many diapers, dirty diapers, has he changed?
So that actually.
More than I agreed to.
So first of all, it is under 10, maybe over 5, and 2 of them have been actual dirty, not wet diapers. And Dan and I have a joke that he'll probably kill me for telling, but when we first met, we were both very competitive and we like to make a lot of bets with each other, but our deal was I told him I would date him if he stopped dating all these other women at the same time. And he said that he would marry me if I changed all the dirty diapers. And so far, we've both held true to that.
No, that's like the ultimate compromise.
That is great.
You could make a movie out of that.
This is reality TV.
You break up with all your girlfriends. Okay, I will if you'll change all the dirty diapers.
And it was done.
That's amazing.
And here we are.
And here we are.
That is perfect. All right. So we almost asked a couple questions before that we probably shouldn't have. So with that being said, let's do the game.
Let's do it, and then we can talk
Okay.
later.
So yeah, we can talk about it. So we got the game. We got both your chairs out here. You don't need your microphones.
Bring your bar stools out here.
Okay. It's like cruise ship 101 right here. Okay.
Put them back to back, then.
Back to back.
Yeah. We're going to learn some stuff right here.
All right. There's your paddles. They're freshly painted. I apologize if you get it on your hand.
So if you do hit
I'll
him,
take
it
that.
could leave a paint mark.
All right.
Yeah.
So this could get
So
interesting.
you got to face straight away. You can't be peeking at her answer, or you can't be peeking at his.
I would start, but I can't find my notes.
You look nervous, Dan.
Dan is nervous.
You are. Yes.
So new trailer too. I hear y'all got a brand new trailer. Congratulations! My wife bought a new trailer the other day, and on the couch, the blue one, I laid it down when it's painted, and now that is forever on our couch. So I got the pillow. I got 2 pillows, and I put them. I got it covered. So we'll see how long.
It's not very bad. I said she'll never notice. And he said, "Oh yeah, she will."
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, good stuff. All right. So obviously, pink paddles for her. Boys, paddles blue. Okay. You gotta tell the truth here. We want nothing but the truth. Okay. So help y'all go. Okay. Who is the better driver? Better cook? Who is the better horseman? Smart. Smart. She's like, I have to say it. He's at his clinic. I have to. Who is more worried about their looks? Who wears the pants in the family?
Uh-oh.
All right. If you had to fire an employee, who would have to fire him? Who is more likely to cry from watching a movie? Who's more romantic? Who is better at keeping receipts for tax purposes? Who has the shorter temper? Who's more likely to sing in the car? All right, the last one. Who is grouchier in the morning?
You just have to always wonder what his answer was.
Did you say me? No, he did not say you. That was good. That's always fun. You kind of get to know them. So, all right. So, 2 or 3 more questions, just keeping us on. We have about 10 more minutes. So. Find my other ones. I can't remember which one works better. All right. So, if he ran for president, do you think that he could? Do you think he could truly carry out the job? Would he be a good president?
He would be amazing, but we actually, what's the show that we watched?
Designated Survivor.
So has anyone seen Designated Survivor? You guys see? So we watched this, and I said that if he was president, I would vote for him, but only if I could be his co-president.
So to coach him through his decision. So in other words, she wants to be president, and then just make him do the decisions.
Yeah, he just changes the diapers.
Dude, I'm pretty sure she's been talking to my wife. All right, so both of y'all, I want to know if you weren't into horses and grew up, what would be your dream job? You know what his is?
Yeah.
What is his?
I was going to say furniture building or building stuff.
No, I'd do that still on the side.
You build furniture?
Well, you know, barns and stuff like
That's
that.
furniture. I consider, yeah, absolutely.
Hey, you know, ironically,
Will you build me a barn for the price of a couch?
as much as that couch costs, you can probably build a barn.
All right, so,
That's ironic though. Bobby Kerr, you know, our old buddy Bobby Kerr, the Mustang man, he's he builds furniture and all kinds of and motorcycles.
That guy is not just a builder, he is an artist. He is unbelievable.
Yeah, he is. But it's just ironic that you're kind of a builder too. So that's cool. So is that the business you would be in, you think? If there wasn't even such a thing as a horse, you think that's what you do, build stuff?
No, honestly, I think that it'd be, probably would have loved to have served in the military, as my dad and family did.
Cool.
And then outside of that would be probably back home in the cattle station.
I see. What about you?
Well, I was a professor at UK for about 10 years, so I would go back to teaching. I loved it.
Good.
It was in equine, but it's not what we're doing now.
Did you ever teach like young kids or high school or anything?
I love high school kids. I love young kids. I don't know if it counts as teaching. I just play with them a whole bunch.
Sure.
But,
Well, they learn a lot from that though.
they love that.
Yeah.
But college students are funny. I mean, they're so engaging. They have opinion. I mean, I love that dynamic of college students.
Good for you.
so what's the like living? At what age did you move to the United States?
So I always say that like I did a few trips prior to 2012, but it was 2012 when I brought my 2 horses over, which is when I kind of consider that I moved over here.
So you growing up, what's the lifestyle differences between here? Like, I mean, here people live on a ranch, but you go to town every day to get lunch. I mean, like, is that Australia too? I mean, what's it like there compared to here?
It's warm.
It's warm.
You know, that would be probably, in all honesty, like one of the things I never thought I'd have to deal with in my life would be frozen water. I just, like coming over here and seeing what you guys have to do to survive winters is mind-boggling to just about all Australians. For us, the opposite was, like when we were on the station, we used to have to turn off the hot water heater and let the water cool down in the hot water heater
Use it.
to get cold water.
So does it ever get below freezing over there?
I mean, it does in a couple of places which I live nowhere near.
So you've been over then?
I have. I've went over a couple times with Dan, and then I took 17 college students to Australia. Most of them were girls. It was bad.
It was bad.
I stressed a lot. They all came back. I felt like that
That's
was
a success.
No matter what happened in between.
They'd fall in love with the accents over there. So was that the country? Like, could you live there? Is it?
I love Australia. I think I probably was more apt to move there than Dan was. I mean, I love the Australian people. I love the culture. I love being here, so it's easy for me to say that, but I would move there in a heartbeat.
But now you got a beautiful place in Lexington.
Now we're here, yeah, and it's not that. It's the fact that we have about 15 horses, only 3 of which are mine. One of us is a hoarder, and so I think, you know, once you start to have that, it's hard to up and move them all over there. So our horses are probably what keep us in line.
All right, so a couple more questions here. Some emails that have sent. Mandy from Iowa wants to know if there's one breed that's easier to train than the other.
The good ones.
The good ones.
The good ones.
So no particular, like you can't pick one of the.
Out of your group of horses that you worked in the act, what are those all same breed, mixed breed? What do you got there?
There's a mix there, really, just a Australian stock horse mare, and then the one that was running off last night and made me work for it, and then quarter horse geldings.
She's the only mare in the bunch.
She's the only mare in the bunch.
So what about
Just
training
leave
the?
it there.
Yeah.
What about training the little white one, the little pony, the mini?
Oh, mate, I'll try to give you the quick version of that. So I was at Calgary Stampede, and I had this other pony, little grey pony, and he was as ugly as a goat. And he had a few tricks on him though, and there was a couple of kids that just kind of fell in love with him. Well, they happened to be the grandchildren of one of the chuck wagon drivers up there. So he comes along, he says to me, you know, what would it take me to buy that pony? And I'm like, well, he's not kind of really for sale, but I said, I'm looking for one that's a little bit bigger, got a little bit more life to it. Didn't think anything more of it. Last day of the Stampede, guy turns up with the 2 kids, and of course, like, now what do I do, right? Now I've got to follow through with it. And he's got this other grey pony, which is one that I have now. But that son of a gun was that wild. It took me at least 45 minutes to an hour to get him onto the trailer to leave. I got to where I was going, took him off, let him off. He got out of the pen, and it took me 3 days to catch him. So it's been a testing time.
And I noticed like the other horse last night, like one of them kind of like threw a pin in his back and bite, and the little pony, they'll take up for themselves.
He didn't even care.
No, he didn't care.
He's like, you bite me, I'll bite you back.
Exactly. Mean little boogers. All right. Callie from Minnesota wants to know if you ever had an accident trailering horses.
Like driven off the road accident, or like had an accident while loading them?
I didn't ask her.
So have you ever had an accident like going down the road with your horse, like a blowout or a floor fall through or a stall gate come off? Or...
I mean, plenty of times of, like blowing tires and stuff like that. Never a wreck outside of that.
No, never laid over a trailer or anything?
No.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good question, but good. I'm glad your answer was no.
No. And Matt from Oklahoma wants to hear about the first time that you came to the United States with horses.
If somebody's recording this, Matt, where's... Yeah.
This is all random.
Okay, Kenny. Sure it is.
So we have a mutual friend that put me up to harassing him a little bit. So a bunch of this inside stuff that's just Matt.
Yeah.
But so you brought horses over in 2000, what year?
2012.
So you knew that to do clinics or truly like what, you brought them over and started making money with them right away, or?
So the thing that I kind of was looking at when I came across, I'd done a few previous trips from 12, and when I came across in 2012, what I felt was that the horses that I needed to come out to be able to present and to kind of showcase some of the stuff that we were doing, the number of years it would take me to get those horses over here training up, business would have been suffered a lot. So it was a lot easier for us to bring 2 horses over.
Absolutely. And then, so where did you go? Did you go right to Kentucky? I mean,
yeah. So it was during the 2010 World Equestrian Games that I made some connections there in Kentucky with a particular thoroughbred farm where we were based out of and worked for a number of years. But we sort of used that as a base. But then, like you guys travelled on the road pretty much non-stop for the first sort of 5 years.
Awesome. We're gonna have to round it up. We're running out of time here, but first of all, congratulations on the young family, beautiful family. That is great, and success like no other. I mean, this is a great life, and you're on the top of the game. And is there anything you got clinics coming up? Where any products you're pushing? Like how do they find you?
Double Down Horsemanship on either, I guess, Facebook or our website. We actually have a clinic starting tomorrow through Wednesday, about 20 minutes from here at Showtime Arena. So if anyone's wanting to come out and check it out, we'll be there.
I've got one more question I just thought of. So you don't have, I was going to ask you this after the show, but I thought, this is an intimate setting, we'll ask you here. You don't have a PRCA card as a specialty act entertainer, right?
I do.
He does.
You do?
Yeah.
When did you get this?
It was Larry Mahan put a good word in for me a number of years back, and I got approved, and that's how I've been able to go out and do Denver stock show a couple of times.
That question was brought up to me last night, and I said, well, I don't think he does because I haven't personally seen him anywhere. So I was going to put you on the spot and make you commit to buy your PRCA card.
Yeah,
how many of you guys would like to see him at more pro rodeos doing what he does across the country? The world of rodeo needs somebody like you. Actually needs somebody like her, and we'd like for her to bring you along. So, but seriously, we were just talking the other day that the rodeo industry.
The industry. I mean, Bobby Curry, of course, is on top of his game. I mean, that guy there's the best in the industry from the PRCA.
Right.
But so many rodeos don't hire acts anymore. That they just hire a clown. Thank goodness. But
he wasn't that way when he was a specialty.
That's right. That's why I started clowning. I couldn't compete. So. But there needs to be more entertainment. I know that you've helped like Jessica Blair and a bunch of these girls that are going and starting to do Liberty and the trick riding and stuff. And those girls are outstanding. But as far as new, unique acts like what you do, there's nothing out there like that. And there's money to be made.
I love to go watch your clinics. I mean, whether you know it or not, even us guys that do similar things for a living, we still learn a lot from you. Even your showmanship and your poise in the arena in front of a crowd. But I really, really like to watch you under the lights on a time crunch schedule with a live audience where we, just like when we go on the air at 7:30, when I walked down that arena last night, there was no margin for error. Yeah. Even though your horses didn't work it perfectly like you wanted them to, I knew they didn't. We knew, but you handled it You handled it like a showman and a real entertainer. You only had so much time. You were on music cues with 6 horses in the arena.
And didn't have a microphone.
And no microphone. Well, that was strategic.
Right.
But anyway, I guess I'm just patting you on the back to keep up the good
Thanks,
work. But your showmanship under the lights as a performer, in my opinion, is as in good a hands as your ability to be a clinician and an educator.
I appreciate
You're a really good showman, and we're
How
thankful.
about it one more time? Dan and Elizabeth James, thank y'all so much.
Appreciate it.